Hey guys, what's going on? Adam from Say Exotics. Welcome back to the channel. Remember, if you are new and you're liking what you see, please do me a massive favour. Please smash that subscribe button, leave a comment, drop a like and ting that notification bell so you don't get to miss a future upload. So guys, in today's video, we're going to be doing a collaboration with Ross over at R.Mckee Reptiles. I've been waiting to do this for such a long time, so I'm so stoked to have him on the channel eventually. He's a fantastic guy, an up-and-coming YouTuber. Check out his videos, guys. I'll leave his details in the description box down below. He's just released a couple of videos, really good videos actually, on substrates and the different substrates you can get and the pros and cons of each one, going from, you know, the spot cleaning, the smell, the price and all that sort of thing. So if you're in the market to try a new substrate and you're not quite sure which one to choose, I thoroughly recommend checking out his channel and the last couple of videos that he's got, because that can really help you in making your decision. So guys, if you're not following Ross already, why aren't you? A fantastic guy, a fantastic page. His setup is incredible. His room, the racks, it's really inspiring to have a room like that, and people that are maybe, you know, breeding in their bedrooms or want to take the next step to an actual room, go and check out his room because it's absolutely incredible. His racks it looks like such a professional setup. That's because it is a professional setup. Let's not get that wrong. But you know, he's such a cool guy, and his projects are amazing. He's into the sunset gene, which is something I want to get into in the future. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he manages to produce from that gene and see how he takes that project further. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking. You come here to see Ross and not me. I'm very, very sure of that. So guys, sit back, relax, enjoy this little clip from Ross, and I'll catch you at the end.
Hello everyone, it's Ross from R.Mckee Reptiles. Today Adam has invited me onto his channel to talk a little bit about the hobby. So thank you very much for having me, Adam. And yeah, I'm going to start by just talking about how I got into it and sort of where it's gone from that point. So as a child, I was always really interested in reptiles, had a passion for it and wanted to keep them as pets, but my parents weren't that keen, and I had to keep twisting their arm until eventually they allowed me to have a corn snake when I was 18 years old, and I'm now 31, so that's the time span there. And in that time I've kept king snakes, royal pythons, bearded dragons, blue-tongued skinks, geckos and all sorts, and I've successfully bred most of them. But now I've come to a point where I'm just keeping royal pythons, and the reason for that is because the more my projects have grown over the years and the more holdbacks that I've hung on to, then it's taken up room to the point where having the other species is sort of a bit of a hindrance, and I really want the royal python projects to do well, so I've decided to dedicate all of my time and effort onto that species for the time being, and hopefully they do well. So inspirations then, so people who inspired me or still inspire me. In the early days, I would say legends like Steve Irwin and David Attenborough. They were both huge inspirations to me. And moving on to when I started keeping reptiles, it would have been someone like Kevin McCurley at New England Reptiles, or Nerd. I used to watch his videos on YouTube, and he's really opened my eyes to the genetic possibilities then of, you know, what can be done with royal pythons or ball pythons. I also had his bucks, and his bucks were brilliant, very popular bucks. And then moving on to like present inspiration would be someone like Justin Kabilka at JKR, looking at his new facility and some of the animals he's got and is producing is unbelievable. So he is an example. Lots of other inspirations. Friends are an inspiration to me, because I, you know, go out for a beer or go around for a coffee to a friend's and talk about snakes for a while, and I come away with a boost, a new lease of life towards the hobby then. So yeah, I get inspiration from all over the place, but they're just a few examples. Moving on from that, I'm going to talk a bit about positives and negatives of the hobby, and the positives far outweigh the negatives, and to be honest, there's not many negatives, but I have got a couple of bits to talk about. So positives is the friends, like I've already said about friends, but when you come into the hobby, or you will make friends. That I've made some of my best friends in the hobby, and it's brilliant. So that's one really positive thing. Another positive thing would be how rewarding it is. So when you raise animals or you see them thrive, and when you get hatchlings, then it is a really rewarding thing, because all that time you've spent caring for the snakes, and then seeing that baby snake is pretty awesome. And then also when you keep a hatchling and grow it up for yourself, and then in 3 years time you see that same female sat on her own clutch of eggs, that's pretty special as well. And it could also be one you've sold and you've kept in touch with that person, and then that person sends you a photograph of that very snake sat on a clutch of eggs as well. I think that's brilliant. I love that feeling. So yeah, it's very rewarding. It also gives me something to do in my spare time, which sometimes isn't very much, but I've got to make time. But I'd rather be doing something productive like this than, sat on my backside watching telly or playing computer games or whatever. So it is something that keeps me focused on something productive, and I very much like that about it as well. Another positive is the community. So the community is full of great breeders and keepers, and especially if you were new to the hobby, you wouldn't have any problem getting help or getting educated on how to do things, whatever. But the community is great. So I think that covers most of my positives. I'm going to move on to the negatives, which is, I couldn't really think of many, but I need to talk about something. So one of the negatives is how it doesn't always go to plan. So when you're breeding animals, sometimes you do get problems, and it's just the nature of the beast. And I came in one day and I had a male that had deceased. This was a few years ago now, but for no apparent reason. But when you keep in, say, 100 snakes, eventually you are going to find an animal that's passed away, unfortunately. And the same with the clutch of eggs. So I had a whole clutch of 8 eggs that died at one point, and there was no apparent reason, because I had several other clutches in that incubator that every other single one hatched. It was just in that one tub I lost a lot, and that was a bit distressing. So I'll say that's another negative with the hobby, is sometimes things do go wrong. Moving on from that, although the community is great, that you're always going to have in any community a minority that sort of try and spoil it, or spoil it for other people. Now, just what I've learnt to do is I just move away from that. I move away from any negativity and I move towards the positivity, because negativity breeds negativity and positivity breeds positivity. I don't know if you spend a lot of time around someone who's constantly moaning and whinging, it rubs off, and you just move towards the people that make you feel better about it, the positivity. And that's about it, really. I would say that's the two negative things, is you get a minority of negative people, and you do get problems sometimes, but you're going to get that with most things in life. So Adam also asked me where I'd see myself in 5 years time. So I think I'm going to be in a similar situation, still keeping snakes like I was 5 years ago, but I think I'm going to be at a new location possibly. My wife is expecting our second child, and we're going to need somewhere a bit bigger, and I'd like somewhere bigger to be keeping the snakes as well. So something that's 2 or 3 times the size of this facility would be perfect. And yeah, by that time I would also hope to see results from some of my favourite projects, like the Sunset project, into like double recessives, and because it's one of my favourite projects, but also I've seen it get some criticism, people saying that it's brown and it all just browns out. But my answer to that is, yellow belly, in the early days of me keeping snakes at least, people were turning their nose up at yellow belly, and then things like the ivory popped out, and then the highway project and the freeway project, and it just turns it all around when people start taking that palette of ingredients and finding the right combos. And I think one day it's gonna explode. So fingers crossed anyway. So yeah, that's myself in 5 years time. I'm just cruising along, enjoying the ride and all of it. So thanks for watching. We'll have a look at some snakes and then we'll wrap it up. So this is one of my favourite females that I produced last year. She is a Orange Dream, probable super leopard, yellow belly clown, possible hat for pied. So I'd like to try and prove her out for the pied. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure on what I'm doing with her yet. She's obviously got some growing up time anyway, so generally what I do is grow up females and then make a decision at the time as to what male I'm gonna give them a go with. So that's one of the favourites. So this guy is another favourite. He is from a similar project to the clown that we just looked at, but this is a Orange Dream leopard yellow belly pied, possible het for clown. So could be a potential you know, pairing with the female that we just looked at to try and prove out the pied, but we'll see. I've definitely want to try and put this one to my Orange Dream fire hat pied at some point to go for the super Orange Dream pied combos, including the fire as well. It would be nice to get fire in amongst this. So that's another one. So here is another male that was from the same clutch as the last pied that we just looked at. And yeah, it's another whole back male. It's an Orange Dream pied, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him, but he was just too pretty to not hold back. So this boy is another favourite of mine, just because he's done such a great job this year. He's been breeding really well, and he's my original from my first Sunset clutch then. So yeah. So there we go. So there you go, that was me talking a little bit about the hobby and showing you a handful of my favourite snakes. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks again Adam for having me on the channel, and I'll catch up with you all soon. Cheers.
So guys, there we go. That was Ross's take on the reptile community, who inspires him, pros and cons and things like that, and even showed us some amazing animals there at the end. I want to thank Ross for being a part of this video. I really do appreciate everything that you've done for me, buddy. Your videos are absolutely inspiring and I love checking them out. So if you're not already watching or subscribing to Ross, make sure you do. I'll leave his details down below. But until next time guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Stay safe. Please remember to continue with the social distancing, and I'm sure we'll get through this pandemic really soon. So guys, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.